The CBS News Texas I-Team has uncovered a disturbing pattern tied to the trucking company involved in the crash that killed 5 people near Terrell. Now, it spans multiple states, multiple company names, and multiple fatalities. Well, this morning, investigative reporter Brian New reveals how this trucking operation has stayed on the road, even as those warnings have piled up.
And I'll tell you, man, I don't know how many miles an hour he was going when he was driving. But he hit that car, and I knew he killed everybody in that truck.
In June, a semi hauling U.S. mail slammed into a line of stopped cars on Interstate 20, killing 5 people. Nicole Gregory was in one of them. 4 members of the McKellar family were in another. The truck driver, now charged with manslaughter, told investigators he fell asleep. It all happened in seconds, but we found the danger had been building for years.
This wasn't an accident. This was a time bomb waiting to go off.
Along with its driver, the trucking company Hope Trans LLC is now under federal investigation. A company official is accused of falsifying the truck's registration. Federal records show Hope Trans trucks were involved in 4 other injury crashes in the past 12 months and failed more than a third of its inspections, far above the national average. And their drivers repeatedly cited for hours of service violations, either for failing to log their time or falsifying records to cover it up. But the problems go deeper. We found the people behind Hope Trans LLC have run other trucking companies, all with a record of safety issues. At the time of the crash, Hope Trans CEO was Aisha Magomedova. She and her husband, Sarvar Miradov, are linked to at least 3 other trucking companies, all of which are now shut down. One of them, Cardin Trucking, was involved in a 16-vehicle pileup in Iowa in 2023 that killed 2 people. Weeks earlier, another Cardin driver lost control of his truck and died. The company shut down later that year. But the trucks didn't stop. We traced more than a dozen Cardin trucks by VIN numbers to B-Zone Logistics, which was also run by Miradov. And when B-Zone shut down, those trucks moved again, this time to Hope Trans LLC.
Now, I-Team reporter Brian New, along with I-Team producer Kelsey Mittauer, have joined us this morning. So let's start with the basics. How were y'all able to connect them to all these other companies?
It's a lot of connecting between business filings, real estate documents, the federal trucking records, when you go on and you look at the safety records. And what starts happening is you're kind of building out spider webs. I was telling Brian, it's not even enough to type it, where I had to get a piece of paper and start writing out, and then you just connect across states and across federal records.
So we saw all those different VIN numbers. What do we specifically know right now about the status of Trans LLC?
Yeah, so what we know right now is federal online records show that Hope Trans LLC, their insurance policy is now pending cancellation, meaning if they can't find new coverage, the company might have to shut down. But in the meantime, we have found that this trucking company is still out on the highways.
And we actually have pictures of it that we can show you. There's a company that has thousands of cameras set up along highways, and they actually track trucks for other companies. And you can see here, they caught Hope Trans trucks in 24 states. And this is since the crash, since June. And so they've still been operating since the crash.
And this is an investigation that continues for y'all, because you've actually got part 2 of the investigation airing tonight, which specifically takes a look at the U.S. Postal Service involvement and role in this crash.
Yeah, because remember, Madison, that this trucking company was hauling mail for the U.S. Postal Service, so one might assume that the U.S. Postal Service knew about Hope Trans LLC and some of their troubled past, but we found that the Postal Service often doesn't even know who's hauling their mail.
And they don't know when there's a crash. Even one as terrible as the one in Terrell, it might not be reported all the way up. So USPS isn't tracking any kind of crashes. And so we're going to get into all that tonight and the uphill battle to fix that problem.
All right. Well, we've got more on the investigation again tonight. Brian, Kelsey, thank y'all so much for joining us. And by the way, if you have tips or questions for the I-Team, be sure to contact them at the phone number on your screen or even that email address, iteam@ktvt.com. They are always watching and monitoring those inboxes to see and answer the questions you have.